Hi there, welcome back to the channel. So every once in a while I do a technical video as far as using the zoom and getting the most out of it. And I'm not the most technical person. I'm more like an obsessive as far as like sound and if I decide I want to try to do something, I'll just make it happen type person. And I don't always read the manual as well as I should or really dig into the machine. I kind of get a working path and then I'll just I've always been like that, and I really appreciate people who really understand the architecture of the things they're working on and just have like a really intelligent workflow. Maybe they spend more time with the manual, a little more patient, and more technically minded. So I really appreciate it when, the whole point of it is not that I know much about any of this stuff. I'm just a guy, I used to record in studios like everyone else, and now I do the home thing, mainly because at this point in life it's so much easier than trying to always keep people that are able to, in the same town together and have the same, ability to record and stuff. So I just eliminated some of the hassle and kept myself moving by doing like this one-man band thing. And I obviously play with other people, and I'd like to be in 3 different bands if I could. But when all else fails, I can at least, come here and work on my stuff and hopefully get some shows and that kind of thing. So I can at least record my own stuff. Now, one of the ways that you can help yourself is by learning the little things inside the Zoom that make recording better. And back in the day, I was like a 4-track guy all the way, and the only really way that you could go backwards was to hit the return to 0 button or the RTZ button on the Tascam 4-track. So that would be like after you did a recording or a take, you would just record, would rewind the tape back for you. And so I always wished that the Zoom had an RTZ, and it basically does, which is like this back button. Like you hit the backspace button and it takes you back to 0, which is the RTZ. And that was basically the only thing I used. I would always go back to 0 and then just kind of fast forward my way through the tune, which is kind of stupid. And I knew in the back of my mind, oh, I bet for sure there's a way to, make marks and stuff, but I didn't even happen to notice down here that this button, the F5 button, is called Mark/Clear. Friend of the channel, Paul Knowles, out of Japan. He's a recordist out of Japan. And he's been very helpful, told me several things that I didn't know about regarding using the Zoom. And, just overall, like an encouraging presence, like many of the people that watch these videos, subscribers and just, people who comment and give really cool tips on how to do things that I don't know about. And hopefully the people that are watching the videos are seeing those comments and getting the extra instruction and information that those are providing. So I really think it's helpful. And he was like, you could make this a lot easier on yourself if you just use the marks. And man, it really is a simple thing to do. So I'm going to just go over it real quick. I've got this song, Witching Hour. I'm going to start it up. And one of the things that was annoying is like it has a longer intro than average for me. And that would have been really annoying to have to navigate through and wait for. So it's almost like, I think it's like 20 seconds long. Okay, about the time that I hear the chords going dun 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 dun, that's my cue to come in with my vocal, my lead vocal. Okay, so that was like 20.8 seconds into the tune. All right, so I'm going to go to this F5 button. And I'm going to hit mark, and that gave me a mark. It highlights the word mark, puts a black border on it. So you can see this says mark 01. That's going to be our first mark. So now, if I take it back to 0, right? So if I was going to play the track from the beginning with the click off, I want to go to that I hit the arrow forward. It puts me right where I want to be, right at that vocal. That's number 1. And watch, here I'm playing it. I'll hit the back button and go right back to it. Watch. Very cool. All right. right, so then I want to find the next moment. Let's say it was like at 1 something. So it eliminates all the searching. Okay, right there, that same moment where it goes dun 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 dun. I'm going to put another mark on there. I'm going to mark, that's going to be number 2. And all you have to do is just hit that F5. Okay, so now I just went back with the back arrow. Second cue set up. Okay, so now I'm going to fast forward again to 2 something. Okay, so it's right there. Right after the guitar. Okay, I'll make another mark right there. So now here comes the 3rd mark. Or is that the 4th mark? So this particular tune has 3 moments, 3 different verse-chorus combinations where I start singing, and there's a lot of dead space in between. So I wouldn't have wanted to sing it and then go find that each time, and each time you need to redo the take, you got to rewind back. You can eliminate all that BS, all that extra goofing around, which is going to distract you from your goal of making a good vocal track or whatever it is you're trying to do. And instead of like fighting the machine and having to search and get frustrated, you just back and forth button. So like, let's go back to the number 1 mark, right? I'll go back, that says mark 1, and let's hear it, just make sure. Okay, let's go to the 2nd mark, make sure that's happening, 109. Now let's go to the 3rd mark, because now we have to waste time searching. Okay, we've covered how to make a mark, now to clear a mark, because after you don't want it anymore, it's annoying if you press back and forth and it's going to the marks and not just going back to 0 or to the new mark that you've made. So, in order to get rid of the mark, let's say, okay, let's make a new mark. I'll go back to, say, I don't know, 22. That was about where it was. I'm going to make a mark, and it's now mark 1. All right? So that's a good mark. But let's say later I want to get rid of that mark. All I have to do is, okay, let's say you've used it and you've gone back and forth with it. So I've cleared it, and I've got mark 0, 0, and then I go to 20, and there's my mark 0, 1. I'm going to erase that by just hitting, once it's it has to be highlighted. When it's highlighted, you hit the same button, the F5 button, and clear it. And it should say mark 0, 0. Let me see if it got rid of it. Yes, it got rid of it. That's all you got to do. It's that simple. Now, just a second ago when I was doing this on camera, before I had to turn off the camera for a second, it wasn't clearing them. I don't know why. It just kept going back and forth, like it wasn't responding to the clearing thing. So I turned it off, turned it back on again. Now we're fine. Who knows? So I think that's super effective. I really appreciate Paul Knowles mentioning this to me. I feel like, man, that vocal was so much easier. I can't wait the whole next song. I'm going to be doing this on every instrument I record. I'll have some kind of mark probably, especially for vocals, or any instrument that you cue in on that you don't just play the whole way through. It would be really helpful for any of that. So the mark F5 button or switch here, no, it's a button, is highly effective, and I'm just grateful to have the zoom, that button, increased usability for me. I really think that's going to help me way more than I can even imagine, because it made this, like I said, this recording a lot simpler, and it's so easy to do. It's just another little cool feature, about digital recording and the Zoom. All right, so hopefully everyone out there is feeling good. They're working on their projects. It's holiday season. I know that can be ups and downs for everyone, so I'm just hoping everybody's feeling good out there. I want to, spread the cheer wherever I can, and just feel like reaching out to people and making sure everybody's feeling good. So I hope we're having a good holiday season, and surviving our family problems and other things that life throws at us. Next time.